song softball pitch.
Welcome to this edition of Everything Fast Pitch in our summer mini pods. We're going to wrap up the discussion of things that are wrong with the world of travel ball. Again, as we mentioned earlier, if you're interested in checking out the lengthy series of articles I wrote, they're on the website at fastpitchprep.com. Wrote a whole bunch about things that I'd like to change in the world of travel ball and a whole bunch about things that I like in the world of travel ball. But it was a very popular and controversial set of articles, got a lot of action, a lot of interaction on social media. So if you're interested, you can go back and check those out. But we're going to talk today about what one of our listeners has pointed out is maybe his least favorite thing in the world of travel ball. And that's this phenomenon of ranking players. We see it now where we're ranking players of all ages, even starting at some very young ages. And the idea of ranking players at young ages for sure, but honestly, almost at any age. I've sat in a lot of meetings over the years trying to pick all conference players, all Americans, all region players, things like that, where you've got a relatively stable set of circumstances, statistics that you can pretty much count on, a pretty good idea of what level of competition a team is playing at, a pretty good idea of what it means when you look at a certain player and you look at their statistics and you look at the team success and things like that, what it means. So the idea to me that we're doing this in the world of travel ball, which there's just no nice way to say it, it's kind of the wild, wild west. We can't get a consensus on what's the best national championship. We can't get a consensus on what events everybody should go to. Even when we can agree on the fact that Colorado is a must-attend event, we've still got 3 different tournaments going on in Colorado all at the same time that are all equally quick to point out how theirs is the best, theirs is the strongest competition, theirs is the most heavily recruited, theirs is the most necessary event on the calendar. So because there's so much lack of agreement, because we can't really get on board with anything on the travel ball world, the idea that we're now going to have somebody choose who's the best 12-year-old player in the country, or who's the 33rd best player in the country, who's the 50th best player in the country, and how these rankings are being put together and what we're accomplishing by doing it is just kind of mind-boggling to me. The reality of it is I've known a lot of the players from our area that I've seen ranked over the years, and almost all of them are serious players. Almost all of them are kids that are really good. But to see a player ranked in the top 10 or 15 or 20 in the country, when I know she's not even close to the best player on her team, it's just kind of hard for me to comprehend and see the validity and the value in the rankings themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a nice thing for the players. It's a nice thing for the parents. Everybody gets a chance to puff their chest up a little bit and talk about, hey, did you see Sally? She's the 3rd best shortstop in the country. She's the 5th best outfielder in the country. And that's great for those kids, as long as we're keeping it all in perspective. What does it really mean? It's a nice award. It's something that you can point to and hopefully have some satisfaction from. But the reality of it is, for people who really know what's going on in the world of travel ball or in the world of softball, we pretty much know how objective the whole idea of being ranked is, and how there's a lot of factors that are kicking in. So why do we have rankings? Because the rankings make money. People buy subscriptions. If a player is ranked, you can bet that their grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad are all buying subscriptions to the service that's ranking them, all getting signed up for different ways to promote and have opportunities to have access to that information so they can share it with more people. And other than that, it really, to me, is kind of a fruitless exercise. The other question I get all the time is I'll see players that are really frustrated because they didn't get ranked. Or maybe they did get ranked, but they got ranked behind a player that they feel that they're better than. And they're worried that that's going to somehow hurt them, that when Coach so-and-so at the college that they're dreaming of going to sees that they're ranked at in the 20s or the 30s or the 50s or the 70s, and other players that are on that list are interested in the same schools, that somehow that's going to kill their chances. Well, the reality of it is I don't think any college coach that I've ever talked to really puts much value in this. Now, I will tell you that their sports information department will put a lot of value in it. So if you are a player that's ranked and a coach was recruiting you and is recruiting you and decides that they're going to sign you to a scholarship, the signing of the scholarship probably has nothing to do with the rankings, But when you get on campus and their sports information department is announcing that Sally Jones from wherever, and whatever travel team has committed and signed to come to our school, then they're going to blow up the fact that you were ranked number whatever in the whatever polls. So the coaches, I don't think, really care at all. The people that are in charge of getting publicity for the programs and for the softball teams, they will use it as a tool later on. But in the grand scheme of things, the whole rankings thing to me is really kind of farcical. I really can't get behind it because I just don't see how one person sitting in an office anywhere in the country can look at nominations and information and statistics and team reputation and things like that and be able to really make an educated decision about who's the best, who's the third best, who's the 50th best. And so the idea that somehow these rankings really reflect what kind of player you are, to me, I think that's a mistake. And here's something I've wanted to share for a long time for all the coaches that blow up social media with the lists of how many of their players got ranked and congratulating, that all 11 of the players on their roster are ranked in the top 100 or the top 200 or the top 300. Coach, I'm just going to tell you, if you've really got 11 of the top 300 players in the country all on one team, you better never lose a game. Because if you've really got that kind of talent that you can point to and say, hey, we've got the 3rd, 5th, 23rd, 33rd, 57th, and 97th, the best players in our starting lineup, and you're not beating everybody that you're playing, something's really, really wrong with your program. So be careful what you wish for. So rankings, I'm not a fan. So please make sure you support our sponsors this summer. The Anderson Bat Company, Bidinger and Styles DDS, Mule Tech, EAS, Elite Sporting Goods, Pinnacle Power Butter, and Action Coach. Make sure you go to the fastpitchprep.com website, order your Square Cuts training discs there. You also have access to the YouTube channel and the blog posts, as I mentioned earlier. If you're interested in this What's Wrong with Travel Ball series, it's right there for you on the fastpitchprep.com website. So we'll talk to you again soon and enjoy your summer.